203. Called it the Monday night comedy show. Francisco's Charles. Andrew is not here, so it's just the duo. So it means no holds bar, anything goes. And
I'm giving everybody heads up now. It might get a little, not that we're perv, but sexual, because a lot of great things happened yesterday for me. You know, with the pettiness. That's all I have to say. I know we called it Monday night. You know what?
Comedy
Terrorist
hour.
Fest or whatever.
Or comedy
hour.
whatever.
This could also be called the petty true train. Because
yeah.
You remember Heel from Breaking Bad when he licks his lips and he sees them in the money bed? I'm like, that's how I'm doing. I'm about to break off on certain teams, baby, and it's gonna be so good. And it's good because Andrew's not here onto it because he sometimes reels me in.
Yeah. So we are gonna start. You know what? Fuck it. We'll do it one. Let's go. Let's go to baseball. It's happening right now. There's the game 3 of the wild card round for the Mets. Are the only team, and the Mets and the Brewers are the only teams left.
If you told me the Mets were gonna have the most exciting postseason game so far,
yeah,
I wouldn't believe you.
Yeah.
It feels wrong.
It does. It's yeah. This Mets team is weird. It feels like one of those. God,
they're likable.
What if it's one of those Team of Destinies types of things where it's just like them against the Tigers or something?
Yeah. Like they eliminated all that bloated payroll, got rid of Buck Showalter.
Best record in baseball since Grimace threw out the first pitch.
Yeah.
So it's it's let me see. I got ESPN.
They're likable, and I don't know if it's like my inner New Yorker knowing that we're gonna get swept in the first round.
Yeah.
Against the Royals.
I'll see if I can get this on ESPN Plus because now I actually have it. So me and my sister went in on the Disney bundle.
I tried and it wasn't doing it.
You have to drop out one of your things because I had Hulu. And she had Disney Plus and we didn't have ESPN Plus. And I was like, why don't we just go in together on the 3?
I have the bundle. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a decent price. 3 for $20 is really like $7 a pop.
And it came in clutch because the Panthers Stanley Cup Championship video came out, and I was stroking to that, which was real nice. Yeah. So it was real nice, real cool. I would say it's not. So look, I watched the Marlins 2003 World Series tape religiously. It's not on par with that. I have to say, it felt like ESPN's C team was producing it. I don't know. It felt like something I could have seen on YouTube, to be honest.
I think that's almost anything with a documentary.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's the way that they did it even back in the early 2000s. There was a lot more effort. There, licensed music and all kinds of stuff. Like here, it was just like
Well, that's the thing. Companies want to short, all kinds of finances onto it. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So. Anyways, I'm let's see, how do I hide this so nobody can see it while I'm working on it? I'll just put something in front of it. That's what I'll do. I'll put myself in front of it. Okay, but in any case, yeah, so I got Disney Plus and came in clutch for baseball because they're hosting the wild card round. And I forgot where I was going with this. Do you remember? I have no idea.
It was talking about going half and half. Came in clutch. You're gonna try to watch the Mets versus.
Yeah, I'm having that in the background. Yeah, we're gonna try to put that in the background. But anyways, we were just like. So first round, right? KC versus Baltimore. So let's get your division rival out the way, Charles. The Baltimore Orioles are basically the Toronto Blue Jays again.
Y'all, so if I may,
go ahead.
I've been really invested in this baseball season.
And the Yanks and the Orioles had beef this year.
Yeah, I mean we got kind of far ahead. We won our division 4 games out from Baltimore. Everybody crowned Baltimore because we love doing that. We absolutely as a fandom love crowning the new hotness. But you guys should know when it comes to the AL East, there really is no repeats coming into it. Y'all didn't crown, Tampa the year they went to the World Series afterwards, right? They were like, there might be some competitive stuff and stuff like that. They kind of fell behind. Yeah, always kind of like crowned the Blue Jays as a possibility when they had that little surging in like the late 2010s. It's so weird to say that now, but it kind of feels appropriate, I guess.
Okay.
And then you get, like, Baltimore going last year, and you fell in love with these prospects, and like Gunnar Henderson, Matt Holliday, all these other very white Mayo players, and I'm just like, okay, but you still had no pitching.
This is on regular ESPN, so I have to have a subscription for like on my cable package
from a TV provider, and that's the problem with licensing.
Dumb with ESPN Plus. What the hell did I pay for this for?
It's just there for documentaries. Like I don't really watch it, but I'm really there for Hulu and Disney at a cheaper price. And ESPN Plus sometimes links on my Hulu.
I'll get hockey. I'll get the NHL games. That's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of why I do it. But to bring it back in, to summarize, you guys were telling me Brandon Hyde was good. They're like, they won 100 games a year. But the AL East is unpredictable because you're always getting a rotational lead coming into it. And, say what you will about my hate for Aaron Boone, but I didn't really hate this Yankees team this year in comparison to the other years. We got the pitching that we needed. There was better dudes out there than Luis Severino and Domingo Germán being some guys, right? So I'm watching it. Night one, it happens. I'm like, okay, they got popped out going from there. And then part two happens where they get swept. And I'm like watching Gunnar Henderson, the guy who's supposed to be the great white hope, right? Just kind of like pop out and do nothing in the final bit. And then Derek, texts me because he's a Braves fan. So the petty for you was also yesterday. But he's like, you were right. Both Houston, and we're going to talk about that in a second because, yes, I still have some hate in my heart for them. As long as Altuve's there, right? As long as Altuve's there. And then, they get eliminated, and the Donald Trump gif of, I'm going to come. Like, that's how I felt. And you guys were... Because I didn't imagine this intensity. And I can say Detroit scares me. Why? Because, fellas, I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to baseball in the postseason, sometimes whoever has the hot hand and also who's not injured. We both know this. Andrew would speak to this if he was right here. And if KC is just lighting up and Detroit's lighting up, more on them in a second, it just felt good, man. It just felt great because it's tough for me to find like a team in the AL to support if my team gets eliminated in the playoffs. I remember I was kind of feeling that when the Royals won, but every year I'm just kind of like, that sensation. But I can live behind the Royals. I can live behind Cleveland. I can live behind...
Yeah, all those central teams are...
I couldn't do it if it was, Houston or with Baltimore. The problem is we would never hear the end of Baltimore. If they actually went far or won it all,
you guys
would like this.
I'm in the National League, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah. But, like, for me, I couldn't because people... And the thing is, like, even when they were coming from the AL, unless it was Houston who cheated most of the time, it was just, like, one-hit wonders. It was one-hit wonders. Boston with that fake-ass Alex Cora, one. Super fake-ass, too. Like, and we're going to get to that in the Detroit thing, I promise you guys, for those who love my raging. But good for Kansas City, because you kind of want Kansas City, because... They're just kind of like a ragtag, but these are still they're still kind of like professionals who've been doing it for a bit on the roster, and then the management's stellar. They just don't want to pay out a lot of people. But hey, this is kind of a good feeling because it's not parity, it's differential. You need some people that are different, and so I was like, all right, this is good for Charles, especially how I've been kind of invested in baseball this season. And I would just also add up into when it comes to Baltimore, there's a chance. But here's the thing about the Corbin Burns contract that not a lot of people know. It's a 1-year rental. It's a 1-year rental. So this guy that you traded some light prospects for, who actually had a very stellar year. If Tariq Scarborough did not have this fantastic year in Detroit like he did, you might be looking at him as a possibility as a Cy Young winner. And you're not going to have him now. What's the one thing that we low, especially in postseason? Leading there, you need that star pitching. The hitting disappears every time. Trust me, I know this because a certain man who is presumed to be an AL MVP is not going to get you anywhere. There you go. But go ahead, Francisco. Please continue. Did you watch any of the AL wildcard games?
I couldn't because it's during the day, so it's at work, so I can't watch anything.
I'm just addicted to my phone on it. But I have more to give because it's AL. I figured you would probably feel the same way if it was NL.
Well, I'm happy about the Braves losing. That's for sure.
Let's switch to that. Let's go to that.
So yeah, I mean, sheesh, Braves petty has been great for this entire course of the season because their excuses upon excuses. Oh, we lost Acuna. Half of our team is awful,
Strider.
And yet the Braves pitching staff, despite all that, still had like the best overall ERA in all of baseball. So it wasn't like they were completely weak, and if anything, they actually found a strength in all of that. And they had most of their guys healthy by the time of this series anyways. So what's their excuse with... They only really lost Acuna. That's the only guy that they really lost. Everybody else is...
I mean, Spencer Strider is stellar, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, but still, then Chris Sale had a Cy Young type of season this year. So they made up for it in that. Like, he wasn't washed.
Here's the thing. We can you're kind of washed. You're kind of washed if you can't complete and compete in the most important game at 35. So it's very Verlander-ish. Who was
off. Yeah.
Don't worry, that's coming.
Yeah, so I'm very happy. I'm happy for the Padres. We're actually going to get the series that I think everybody really wants to watch is Padres versus Dodgers. Yeah. So that'll be fun. Yeah, that's going to be real fun. I'm going to enjoy that. I hope the Padres do win because that would be fun. That'd be really fun.
I mean, you know how I feel about it. I am agnostic to either side because on one end, if the Padres win, then Fernando Tatis is proving us wrong, which is fine. I like eating humble pie every now and then, right?
Yeah.
Because that was the thing. They paid him out, and the injuries and stuff like that kind of come in. But the other aspect of it is that if the Dodgers win, then I need to see like Shohei's arrival, and if his stuff isn't good and he gets by the help of his friends and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, who we love Mookie up in this household, I'm going to continue that nerve. I mean, I could live with the Padres, sure, but there's a thing about hating them because remember I called them the Fraudres. We dubbed them that.
Yeah.
I mean,
but this is the least Fraudre team of them all.
And you know what? We love Manny Machado.
Yeah, this is the legitimate San Diego Padres team that has that chip up. They've already beaten the Dodgers once already in the Division Series, so and the Dodgers beat them once before that too. So this is the rivalry. It's probably the best rivalry now in baseball in comparison because the other traditional ones are gone. Like the Giants have been nothing, so they got nothing with the Dodgers lately.
I mean, the Giants are really just frauds aside from not having a good year.
The Red Sox and Yanks isn't as spicy as it used to be.
No, because there's two inept managers, but one just outlasts another inept manager. Yeah. Alex Cora is a terrible manager. Yeah. He's been back from his year-long suspension, even though he ruined the integrity of the game. And he hasn't done anything.
And then, Phillies and Braves has been all right last couple years, but Braves are out.
I don't want to blow my load on Philly. Excuse the crassness of it, but I feel like that's such a strong possibility. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens because if the Mets win, it'll be Mets-Phillies, and that's also another rivalry that's out there too.
The battle of which team has less brain, or which team fan base has less brain cells. I'm gonna call it like a series.
I mean, yeah, it's that'll be a fun one to see though. So
Sure.
If I had to lean it for like entertainment purposes, then I'd definitely go with the Mets beating the Brewers. I mean, it's 0-0 right now in the 7th inning, so we'll see. And gosh, what else is going on?
We haven't talked about the ultimate.
Well, then we have the final series. The final series. That the boogeyman is gone for the Yanks for this postseason as the hot Detroit Tigers right now. The
main character in our horror movie wasn't even in it. It's Halloween 3 all over again for those who've seen it.
But the Tigers manager is AJ Hinch. So some revenge on his part in some ways, because he definitely got everything as far as the
lamb, yeah.
exactly compared to Carlos Beltran and a bunch of other players that didn't see any sort of punishment. What the most Beltran was like
Carlos
he got
Beltran
fired from.
Did get kind of blackballed.
Yeah, slightly blackballed.
I mean, he's not going to be able to manage.
He will. It's just like a little small hiatus thing, but he probably will get a
he's
job.
Designated on the yes. I mean, Apple's
Marlon's job is open. I'll tell you that much. So, but yeah, I mean, sheesh. Yeah, and Skip Schumacher's not coming back, so he's already confirmed that. The Cardinals are keeping their manager, so he's not going to St. Louis. So we'll see what opens up, because
ain't nobody gonna want to go. He's not gonna want to go to Chicago.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to deal with another rebuild.
Nah, yeah, he won't go to Chicago. I don't know what the Blue Jays are doing, because I mean I think their manager doesn't even look like a manager. He just doesn't seem like a manager.
But they had him 3 years or 2 years, and then remember they fired Montoya like not too far in. So it's like, would you want to? I think he wants stability, and you know who has great stability? The New York Yankees organization. They'll stay loyal to you. They had Girardi for a very long time. Joe Torre was there for an exceptionally long time. Aaron Boone has been here for 8 years.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and some people
have said, really been 8 years, my God.
Yeah, 2017.
Holy crap.
Almost, basically. Some people have said, like, the path to the World Series for the Yankees has never been easier. That's a lie. That means you don't know baseball to me, because,
short series. Series, division series, that can turn around on you real fast.
Yeah, and the thing is, you have to either subscribe to the theory that 9 days rest is good or bad. I'll take it as good, because as long as other people get to heal, that's fine. Because I already expect. All right, I'm gonna take this. I'm sorry. I already expect Judge to be practicing his best swing out flies, man. His best pop ups, and I expect him to be doing his best strikeouts. Giancarlo, I expect him to be the most effective of them all. Plain and simple. Rizzo has broken fingers, so we don't know if he's healed yet. So these 9 days help out.
Jazz, we'll see what Jazz can do with a.
I mean, he had a touch of the postseason, but
yeah, he's had 2 appearances with the Marlins, but short series.
If anything, I actually think it'll benefit our pitchers just to heal, because we have to figure out what we're doing for the 3. Because either Lucas Gill or it's either Lucas Gill or Clark Schmidt who's going to be the 3. And I kind of hate that about ALDS, where we're going to be stuck to 3-man rotations, because how deep are you going to pitch these guys? And Nestor's out, so he's not going to be coming back to the ALCS. And then Stroman's now Marcus Stromaning everything. So I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? So Kansas City, the thing is, man, I can't say I know enough about them, because what was I emphasizing? The AL Central? I was emphasizing more of Cleveland. Cleveland scares me. They're actually my pick of going to the World Series and AL representative. I have it as actually Dodgers, Cleveland. We had this, I don't think we had this discussion, but Derek and I had this discussion. But you need it from the ground up to be built on and well-rounded. But I can totally see the Yankees just losing out, because if the Royals were able to kind of just decimate a team like Baltimore, which was 2 games above them in the entire win-loss record, there's still a very strong possibility. Cleveland, Detroit, though, I mean, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a very similar built team, and there's something about me, I'm like, oh no, I don't like AJ Hinch. I don't hate him, but there's something about I don't like him, even though we come to Alex Ortega. And I'm gonna be petty. Wouldn't it be amazing if they just won a World Series without Mickey Cabrera? Just saying. Because my feeling, Miguel, what does he bring in at that point?
Yeah. But he got his ring, so with the Marlins, so it doesn't really matter.
But that's the problem. He's not defined as a Marlins
and
player.
He's a consultant, so on the team, so he technically would still get a ring.
Yeah. But the AL it really is the toss-up. The NL really does feel like it's going to be the Dodgers or the Phillies show, plain and simple. But this is good baseball, because last year, snooze fest. There's something good about the Diamondbacks not being here, even though they were the most offensive run team, because they just got hot at the right moment and they flamed out. We just want a good World Series. We want teams to fall in love with when your teams don't get in there. I didn't have that last year. My team is here, but I want to be invested. Because if I lose in an AL, Then I have to be like, do I want to go with Cleveland and get them to have their first? It's all about narratives. We know this.
Yeah.
Cleveland can have the first ring since like 1918. Detroit's gonna have the first ring ever without Jim Leland having to like raise his sack up a little bit. Kansas City, I fell in love with them when they went back to back because it was just beautiful. They're like, we're gonna suck for 70 years, but we're gonna do it now. And then the end now, it's kind of like, all right, the Padres can kind of do it finally.
Yeah.
And then you look at Philly, like, there's something about me that does want Bryce Harper to have a ring. I'm just saying it straight up because I think he's actually been stellar. The Mets, I'm like, okay, because the thing is, the people who were on the Mets last year are not on there now. So like, I hate Verlander because I'm jealous I never had him, and it felt great. He's got to retire, man. You couldn't go, man. You got CC Sabathia. I just threw it so I couldn't go no more. It's time.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of like they did this whole blow up, and it goes to show that sometimes you don't need all the money. But I also kind of like some of the players, like Lirano and all that. So it's like, yes, and that's a good feeling. The Brewers are the only one that I'm kind of like, I don't really care. Because it would be like Christian Yelich gets his ring without ever getting it.
But he's not even on the team, really.
There is, yeah, exactly. And that's okay. So here's a fun question: should you even be broadcasted on that team if you don't play any of the postseason? Should you even get a ring if your season gets cut short? I know they give it to him.
I mean, I get it, but that's what I harped on with Acuna. He doesn't have a real ring. He just sat on the couch while the team got better after he got injured. So, that's my entire narrative there.
Yeah, and so I'm with you on that, and he'll get it. But like now, where the Brewers are like, they don't watch him be the team that comes out. They just kind of seem unexceptional for me to kind of like consider. But everybody else has a narrative as a baseball fan. Yes, I'm a Yankees fan. Yes, you're a Marlins fan. But we're also, it is a sport that you start out with mostly, in at least North America, in your school, in your viewing. We're old, 35 and 37, right? So we got caught up in a lot of good generational baseball. The Yankees with McGuire, Sosa, with
the Giants even got something
coming
going
in.
Yeah,
we saw some teams that we never expect to win World Series, like the Diamondbacks and the Marlins multiple times. This narratives is what brings you in to want to watch it, because last year was like Texas just did their best New York. We're like, we're just gonna buy everybody and not do anything at all this year. And then the Diamondbacks kind of got hot and erased the fact that they were just like a couple of games above 500 and then flamed out. And I'm like, all right. Yeah. But this is kind of like, I'm invested, man. I'll watch it.
Yeah. The division series should be good for most everybody. I think probably the only dud would be Phillies Brewers if that ends up being that. So aside, and then you have Cleveland versus Detroit. So that's a division series type of thing.
But don't we love division rivalries in the postseason?
Yeah. So that'll be nice. And then you have like basically Yankees Royals, which was a rivalry a long time ago, and it's also got small market versus big market, right? It's almost like Pacers and Knicks type of feel to it. So, yep. So that's baseball. Let's see. We're at 24 minutes now, Charles. I got nothing on. Hockey season starts tomorrow because they're playing in Europe first. And next week is the Panthers' first game of the season. And pretty much everybody else in North America is starting their season next week. So that'll be fun. So I'm getting geared up for that. And then basketball, everybody's in training camp right now. So we'll start getting some preseason going eventually for there. And gaming, got Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. I've only played for 1 hour. Haven't really seen anything that's, already starting a little bit with like the creating echoes, system. And you'll like the way, so far after just 1 hour, you'll like the way that they did their the menus, Charles, because it's basically it's Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom with how you manage it. It's the same thing. So if it's that menu is probably not the easiest, like the quick quick swap menu on the D-pad.
But it's the same. Like most favorite.
Yeah, but it's the same as Breath of the Wild. It's the same thing. So, so there's that, and the only thing, once again, disappointing me that is we need a Switch 2. We definitely need a Switch 2.
November 2025.
Like it is. I look, man. I love Nintendo. I love the Switch. It's a
It
fine
was my
system.
like what 8-year or 7-year anniversary. I think I told you
Yeah.
last week. Of me getting my Switch 2, and because I had like the Snapchat memories. I'm like, oh hey, and what a beautiful thing. But yes, continue.
Yeah. So I know this game would definitely fly if it's on the Switch 2, and I hope the Switch 2 has the same thing like the PS5 did with PS4 games and Xbox did with the Xbox games. Just some upscaling, maybe a little added horsepower can help like the frame rate for any sort of like Switch games, original Switch games on their system in the future. Just to help out a bit, right? Because at this point, I'm gonna play this. I probably won't replay it after beating it, but maybe I'll if Switch games become cheap, hey, start picking up some stuff, and maybe some things will actually run a little bit better, Because like that, No More Heroes was really rough as well. Just a
So
bunch
that's
of
the
games.
question. Are they going to treat the Switch 2 like a console, or are they going to treat it like the possibility of backward compatibility like a PC?
Well, I mean, going by their handheld history, they did it with the Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, DS, and 3DS. They've done the backwards compatible thing before. Like it's only the consoles that they've always never done that with, except for like the Wii and the Wii U. That was like the only one that. Those are the only two ones that actually did something with like the GameCube and all that stuff. So I would hope that they continue with like the physical cartridge slots.
1440, 60 FPS. All I need.
Yeah, and that's on the actual console itself, like putting in console mode instead of handheld mode. Like handheld can just be still like 1080p and whatever. So
I really think 720p on the handheld because you already made the OLED. So I think, all right, we're going to talk on conspiracy theory because all the stuff that we've talked about and heard about and spoke about the Switch 2 was always about like the backwards and the push to it. But I do believe legitimately they're going to launch with an OLED camera.
Oh,
like they're
Brewers
not
are
gonna...
up 1-0.
Oh well, there goes
got a home run,
right?
Yep, 1-0, seventh inning.
Nets had me. They had me.
We'll see.
Fuck.
They came back in the Braves game on to get the wild card. So it's 2-0 now. Sorry.
I think they're gonna launch an OLED screen.
It's 2-0. There's no outs.
Well, they had us. That's all I can tell you.
Oh boy.
Okay. Well, that's fine because they're in your division. So screw it. You shouldn't want your division people. It's just I understand.
Oh no. I did say because what the Mets did to the Marlins last year with the whole rain delay type of thing and just not covering their damn field, that I wanted them to suffer in 2024, and I think this is a good way of doing that. So there we go.
Yeah.
Switch.
But that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you're getting both right off the bat.
Okay.
I think they're not going to do the Slim because at the end of the day, the Slim was just a dumb idea to me because like I want it docked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's only for like a kid that the parents don't want to get them a TV just yet. But
they don't. But the kids wouldn't know. The kids wouldn't know.
Yeah.
The kids wouldn't know.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah. So Switch 2 hopefully will actually be something real good in the future. Let's see. As far as any other thing, I haven't really touched anything other for gaming wise at this point. So I've just been sitting waiting to play Zelda. That's what I've been sitting waiting to do.
All right, I'll steal it a little bit. So I'm playing Cyberpunk as we're doing right now. I have my beautiful Arctis Nova 7P stuff going on. I'm just doing some side missions. I had to take a break from it, but like I'm on the DLC. Like I think I said last week, I did beat the game. I gave it an 8.5. I think it was worthy. I'm on the Phantom Liberty stuff, but I'm so close to level 60, so I'm like fine because I'm going to Georgia, boys and girls. So we won't be gaming. I know what my palette cleanser is going to be. I started Princess Peach the other day, Showtime. It's cute. I already know it's going to be a 7. That's fine. Like Nintendo understands what I need out of it, and you can kind of see the potential of future games. And what I've noticed is that all I want Nintendo to do is throw me every known IP known to mankind because they've been a console company, handheld and everything for a very long time, guys, and they've had these IPs out. So if you just want to make Birdo's Big Adventure, I'll buy it, play it, because I always know it's going to be like a 7 in some juncture. You know what I mean? Like I always like I've never played a Nintendo manufactured game that makes me go say, "Ha! I wasted my money." I always just kind of go say, "Oh, that was cute," or "Hey, that's nice." Yoshi's Yarn and Kirby's like Yarn was like the prime examples of it. Really did enjoy Kirby's Forgotten Land. Just saying, I actually think that's a solid game in my opinion, but that's just me. You know what I mean? But like, it's cute. It's like a 2-3 button thing, but it's gonna be that Astro's Playroom, Astro's Astrobot as well. The big issue, my man, is that I don't know if I have the actual capacity to do spooky season because your boy is very busy because he's going to go for a business certificate and being a lawyer and then keeping this body tight at 35.
We're October 3rd right now.
And I'm not there. I'm not there yet. I think Lake House will be the spooky game. And you know what? That's fine. I'd rather do Lake House and next year do Final Draft. I know what happens in the big sum of things.
If you could actually, well, it depends on how they do Lake House and how they implement it into the full story. Because like I told you, they added the Night Spring stuff into the Final Draft.
Yeah. Well, I watched the YouTube clippings of it because at that time, that was my one kind of complaint. Sorry, Sam, about it. Like the actual end game thing to redo the whole game when you should have just put it in the final chapter of a playthrough. That was probably preferable, but I did like watch certain things and about Darling and all that stuff, and then of course the Master of Many Worlds things. But I think the game is actually exceptional and thought provoking, and it's the experience that you relive multiple times. So henceforth, why like I would want to replay it again. And it would have been something to do 9 months, but I really had to weigh it out and say, well, I'm not buying Silent Hill. Sorry, they're okay, but they're not my cup of tea. So I was like, all right, what are we gonna do with this thing? So I think Lake House would be my only I would say a spooky game because I gotta do all this other stuff, and the backlog is important because these RPGs are so damn long, fellas. They're so damn long. Like I'm like 70 hours into Cyberpunk here.
I haven't blasted through Zelda like I've wanted to so far. I'm hoping I can get some good time this weekend. At least put in.
It's just not gonna happen with our responsibilities.
But like this weekend, I think I could get 6 hours at the very least.
It's like a 30-hour game, from everything I've read, which is exciting.
Yeah. And then I'll get to Lake House when I get to it, right? Like I'd like to play it in tandem. Well, it said October. So
well, they're gonna release it around the same week the game shares its 1-year anniversary. Sam is very sentimental. We act like we know. We do. We do. We know you, Sam.
But yeah, I would rather. I'd rather play it in tandem with you. That way, we're both getting the same story beats at the same time and can talk about it on the show.
Well, I think we'll definitely end up hitting that in the same tandem. I'm just not going to do Final Draft unless I really just need to. Sometimes too, like you got to understand, I've been playing, a lot of Cyberpunk's actually a very fun game, 8.5, which is a perfectly fine score, Ross. Sorry, Mister, it's a 10 troll. Shut the hell up. I'm even redo the endings because they have different missions for every ending, which is enticing to me. But it's a lot of shooting, cursing, blowing stuff up. There's good gore. You're not going to get that with Peach. You're not going to get that with Astrobot. I'm going to get that with Alan Wake, man. There's a man covered in blood in, like, a couple of the scenes. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
That's right.
That's going to be a show game. We talked about it.
Yeah.
And I've been rewatching some DBZ Abridged. I've been rewatching some old school clips of my favorite clips. I know you're not a Dragon Ball guy, but I can be that for us.
Let's see. All right. That's as much as I got for gaming, to be honest.
One thing I will say. You guys might hate me. I'm sorry. I'm minorly, there's a small part of me, the devil on my shoulder, weighing heavily. There's a part of me that's actually thinking about the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, you did speak about that.
And the logic made sense. because I have the television for it. That's the thing. I have the real big baby Jesus.
Ghost of Yotai would probably be a great show.
Ghost of Yotai. That's what happened. They suckered me. They knew. You know this. There's always that one game, and I'm like, oh, hold up here. Pure native 4K at 60 FPS, and if I have an OLED, I can do possible variable refresh rate. Which, kids, it's a game changer. Francisco has it. I have it. It's like nothing you've seen before, as Saliva says. It is. You know what I mean? And I'm getting games that are based out now. I'm thinking hard, baby. I'm thinking hard. And I'm literally going to like, what's really $800? You put it on the Best Buy credit card, October 10th, 100 something. And like, Charles, don't you have debts? I do. But I also have like a 7,000 like credit card limit to Best Buy, and I only owe like $30 right now. So you gotta put it on there something. And then I'm like, well, if I just buy the Pro and whatever I get from the points link, then I could put it towards the disk drive, and I could get the disk drive cheaper. Because remember, the logic of like how Charles gets games is not the same of how I have to buy a console. You're never going to get a discount on a console. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you have to ask yourself, how much do I really want it, need it, gotta have it kind of gig, you know? And your boy be eyeing, man. Your boy be eyeing, because don't I deserve nice things? Don't you deserve nice things? To me, it's like the same equivalent if you keep adding more CPU, or if you got a new graphics card, or even a GPU to process some of the high intense games, if you weren't playing games that are really set up for the PS4 and then the Xbox One. Because that's really like the games that you play now on your computer.
Yeah, the Mets are desperate. They got Edwin Diaz already in the game. Or no, is that his brother? He has a brother, right? No, I think that's him. No, that's actually him.
I think it's him.
Yeah, they actually got him in. Holy shit.
Well, when it matters, it matters. And this is the problem with the desperation play, because it's like it's gonna affect you, and you're at the bottom of the 7th. But the problem is, if they've closed you out, this. If they've closed you out this deep, you're working on a miracle.
Yeah,
you're working on a miracle, man. That's just the God's honest truth coming into it.
All right. Yeah. So the PS5 Pro, man. So that's $700.
It's not a waste of money. It's just like, it's one of those things where, like, if I didn't have an OLED, I'd be like, all right. And Charles, does your gaming make me happy? Listen, I live a very interesting life, but like when I get to gaming, it could be either playing with the bros or just doing it on myself if the quality is good. Right now, there's no killer app game, so I don't really need it right now. But if they say, Charles, Ghost of Yotai, April 2025, well, fellas, that's 6 months away, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's not as far off, and it's the same way how I felt about God of War and then Spider-Man 2. And here's the thing, I still have God of War Ragnarok. I still have Spider-Man 2. I am planning to replay those because I put them on high levels of game that I said, okay, I would want to replay them. I haven't traded them in. One of them's digital, and one of them is, I really just enjoy Spider-Man 2. So if they give me that update on it, so that's it. But I don't need it now. So we know we're not going to get it now. The fact that I just could be great, because it's just not going to get a price, and I think they have a production. But I don't think it's as silly as some places make going from there. But I'm like, no, because to me this is the equivalent of just upgrading your PC when you just have like a mid-generational gap.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying just from the equivalent of it. I mean, me upgrading my PC would probably, it probably costs around the same as the PS5 Pro.
But also, Alan Wake 2 is getting some upgrades because of it, and because they've already, Remedy has already listed out. So just saying, So like when I get to do it, so it's not a now thing. I can get it. I just don't know, like, if I'm gonna even be somewhere in my financial support 6-7 months from now. But it is on the horizon. It is on the horizon. And here's the also indisputable truth: the Switch 2 is going to cost less no matter what than the PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
But the PS5 Pro, as we talked about the show, tells me that we're going to get at least another 5 years of this generation for Sony. And if I clock out 4 or 5 years, then it's kind of worth it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean, we're at 2024. both of them released in November 2020 for this generation. So this is around that time for the mid refresh, right? Except now they are actual upgrades compared to before, where they were just getting slimmer consoles and they were just the same, but they just were smaller for people.
Well, it just amazes me. I guess I'm a Sony fanboy today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That we defended them, but we never gave like Nintendo any shit 5 for making the OLED screen or the Slims or what they've been doing on all their handhold stuff. You know, tribalism.
Oh yeah, 3DS was bad with it. 3DS was awful with the you had the original, then you had the XL, then you had the 2DS, then you had the new 3DS, then you had the 2DS XL, the new 2DS XL, and I think I'm missing one, and the new 3DS regular, right? And I thought about getting a new 3DS because I knew my I have the original 3DS, I haven't changed it. I knew mine was long in the tooth for it. But it was never an upgrade that I felt like I needed because the game's marginally fine. You were getting a bigger form factor. Sure, I guess 3D was better with that, but even then, people don't use 3D as much anymore, and the game stopped using them in the first place, so it didn't really matter. Like for me, the DS to the DS Lite, that was necessary. I bought that. I bought that because it felt really necessary. So, but aside from that, I haven't really. And Nintendo doesn't do mid-generation stuff with their regular consoles, so it doesn't really matter. And the Switch just had the two, the Lite and the OLED, yep. And the OLED was nothing but just an upgrade to the screen, nothing more. So, but
there's people.
But yeah, and they didn't do a new Switch or whatever that they did with like the 3DS. So we're just gonna get the new Switch 2 next year, hopefully, and
without a doubt, for free.
Yeah. You got to do the coup and GameStop. All right, we're at 43 minutes. I guess we could do. Non-sponsors. We're starting late. It's 9:20.
Sure.
And people and places, things and concepts. We've been enjoying last week. How about you, Charles? What have you been doing?
So, life is simple, life is hard, but when you get a simple meal, life is great. And I had a very busy weekend, so I went to Montana on Friday, went to Miami to eat like Italian place, did putt shot, did the Titans game. It's been a kind of rough week on your boy, and I was starving on Tuesday. I had much to do that day. I had to go to work, I had to go take like an hour class, and I had to go to like a mini like Hispanic wake. You know how Hispanics are, right? And I was starving. I was looking at those croquetas, and I'm like in there as the Colombians got the little rosaries, talking about stuff. I'm like, oh, these are to die for, and I had to hold back from it. But they were kind of old, but they were from like Lauderdale because Matthew I brought them up with Mark. I'm like, oh, it's fine. But I knew it was October 1st. I'm like, I got burned. I got to burn my calorie stuff quickly. And I'm also going to Georgia, so because I'll be on the road tomorrow for like 8 hours, 9 hours, so like I'll have to eat at some point. But what I always tell you guys, I believe in two things: that when you die, you don't bring your stomach and you don't bring your genitals, right? So, enjoy life in one way and eat what you can. And we talked about it before, we talked about it again, but there's just two places that I go get my fulfillment from fast food. One's Taco Bell, which I did not vibe into, but there's this little redheaded girl, Charlie Brown, Charles Trujillo. We're attracted to redheaded girls, right? Her name is Wendy. Not Wendy, but Wendy's. And I needed it, man. I was thinking about it all day. I'm like, we're dealing with some family stuff. There's death in family. We're okay, guys. It's fine. Life happens. But I'm like, what sounds great? Ghost Ranch chicken pepper sandwich. Or chicken sandwich. Ghost pepper ranch chicken sandwich. With the strawberry lemonade, which is kind of tart, man. Very tart. Very strong. But for $12, you're like, do you want to make a large film? Watch my figure. Thank you. I'm 35 now. But I got it. I need it. And, when everybody complains about how expensive fast food is, it is overthrow the corporations. But you know what? That's the only fast food aside from the T-Bell that I'm always satisfied no matter what money I spent. So it was just a got the fries, got the ghost ranch chicken, and I always put a little bit of that Melinda's ghost pepper or the extra high. I still have I still have like 2 of the bottles left because I bought a pack of 5. Like, what do you expect, right? But just to put an additional sensation. But what I always love about that chicken sandwich, and I know you've had it, Wendy's, when you go for their premium chicken sandwiches, it's a big old fat fatty, man.
Yeah.
It is thick. It is tasty. You don't really want anything else besides that. The fries have gotten better. That's always been their complaint. But the fries have gotten better. And the strawberry lemonade, tarts, but delicious. So Wendy's is my non-sponsor. It's so good, you'll reset your life balance for it. Beats out food in Miami. Beats out. It doesn't beat out Fats or JoJo's. We know we love those, man. Beats out a few places in Vero. Fats is in Vero too, but I haven't been in that county in a minute, like about 3 weeks. But every time I'm there, I have to go like to court or something, or I have a client meeting. So I'm like, okay, if I try to eat it, I'm gonna kind of crap myself. Did have berry fresh today? I didn't send you guys the photo of it. I had a Captain Crunch French toast, and it was good. The thing about French toast, it's light and airy, so it's not as heavy as pancakes. That shit will put me down. But you know what doesn't put me down for the count, but puts me to bed in a good way? It is the Usher or the Genuine of fast food. It's Wendy's. So go on, girl. You're doing good. Promo code balance.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and we were discussing burning for the month, right? So it's October 3rd. I haven't burnt mine for the month yet. I mean, I burnt mine in September early, and it was Wendy's, by the way. Yeah. That was what I burnt it on. If I had to burn one for this month, it'd probably be Taco Bell. I do want to try those Cantina tacos.
They're actually really good.
Yeah,
and it's so weird. I hate it. But if you go for gourmet tacos, they tend to be the same price too.
Yeah, so I really do want to give those a shot, and I haven't had Taco Bell in a minute, so I think that would be a good one to burn. But I don't feel like burning it just yet. Honestly, I'd like to not burn it until after the wedding this month. So, oh yeah, I had a pretty sucky weekend because of the hurricane as well.
Yeah. That's unfortunate too. Yeah. Guys, donate. I don't know how you feel about GoFundMe and stuff like that, but we live in Florida, and before, like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, South Florida would be the hit point. Now it's really just like Northwest Florida, and it's kind of tragic. Throw some money there. Money. Help out.
And that thing went cut right through North Carolina. Power went out, like the whole shebang over there. So the Airbnb was all messed up. So they pivoted to Nashville instead of Asheville, North Carolina. But it would have been $800 for me to get a ticket to Nashville. So I wasn't gonna drop that. Just to get there on a Saturday, like in the middle of the day, and I can't really enjoy it, and then I have to get back on Sunday. It was not worth it for me. So I'll enjoy Tennessee when I get there in a couple weeks from now. So that'll be fine. But hey, gave me a chance to play Zelda for 1 hour. I was hoping to play more, but a bunch of other stuff, and I had to do some graphic stuff for hockey, and I'm just gearing up for the season now. Because I got the social media stuff and everything, so things are wrapping up for hockey now.
Follow him on the Twitter, Charles the True, FJOJR Jr., Dan Frijoles, Panthers historian, sunsetting Marlins historian until winter season, guys.
Yeah,
we'll talk to you about some hirings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll probably just be posting playoff clips from the last 20 years, 21 years now. So, probably doing that. But, non-sponsor, this will be a good segue anyways. So I'm just going to give it to my supervising attorney. I won't say her name for where I work at right now because she came in clutch. She's actually been super clutch for me since I started working where I'm at. Because same field of law, but doing things different than what I was doing before because I was just solely in one part of the practice as far as just removal proceedings, and there's a whole other world with regards to petitioning for families and employment visas and stuff like that, stuff that I don't know about, and I probably should actually start studying and learning and researching and actually being a lawyer and a all-around good professional for once.
Man,
Yeah.
More on
So
that. Maybe we'll touch on the.
actually, I told my dad last night we have to study. We have to study now because I got to learn about what employment visas are. So I don't know a damn thing.
Especially with the new executive branch that's coming.
So yeah. So her, and she's been amazing and great, and you know, and everybody else at the office has been great too. So, but I'm not gonna say, but a promo code to her, at Clutch. Yeah, she's Clutch like every single time. So, let's see, and I'm saying that also now because she also came in Clutch. She happens to be a season ticket holder for the Miami Dolphins.
Oh.
The Miami Dolphins, and just so happened to not want to go to Monday Night Football between the Miami Dolphins and the Tennessee Titans. So she offered the tickets to me. I was going to go with one of the guys from the office, but he dropped out, so I took my dad, and he had a good time. We got there late. Miami.
Papa Frank was there?
Yeah. So,
you was a bitch. I waited for you, Seven.
So my dad went. We were
You're
sitting
gonna
there.
get a tail 2 cities.
Yeah, and we got club level seats too, so that was great. And sitting there, I found my Reggie Bush jersey. Yeah, I got a Reggie Bush jersey, and
well, you know what? He was, I think, your last 1,000-mile rusher for a bit.
Really? Maybe, I don't know. I thought,
or 1,000-mile. I'm sorry, 1,000-yard.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not even sure.
I'm checking right now as you talk.
Was it Ronnie Brown? Was I'm not even sure. Who was that guy that went to the Eagles and won the Super Bowl? Kubiak or what? I'm not sure.
Actually, I lied. Raheem Mostert got 20.
Oh yeah,
he had just broke with 10,000, 1,012 yards. Jay Ajayi, 1,000.
Okay, Ajayi. There you go. Yeah, he went to the Eagles.
Lamar Miller in 1,099, and he went. I actually was looking at the other. But Reggie Bush was 2011, and there was a 3-year gap before Miller. And then Ricky Williams had 1,100, and Ronnie Brown had 2006. So it really kind of... Reggie Bush was valuable.
Yeah, he was.
Underrated back.
Yeah, he was. I think a lot of people expected too much of him because of the Heisman and stuff, but...
He won his Super Bowl. Yeah. That's all you need to know. He was on a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah, and he got his Heisman back, so,
Yeah, he was a multi-tier champ. Very good.
Yeah, so I'm actually... I don't even we can run down the gamut of the other games if you want. But
no, I didn't really watch any of the games.
So
let's just talk about that experience because I have commentary.
Hold on, but I'm just gonna go on the highlights of just what happened over the last week for the rest of the NFL. But I mean, aside from anything like that, Aaron Rodgers lost, so you should be happy about that, right?
Mid baby, I'm so right. I'm gonna take this. Petty True is here. That's what you can call this episode. Y'all thought because he was healthy that he was going to be a difference maker. Mm-hmm. You don't really have effective running game because Nathaniel Hackett's calling it. You don't really have a competent coach, and I was just telling Tony this. You don't have a competent coach at Saleh, and I'm sick of people saying the defense is actually good when they who they played this season was just my defense, which just let it up, the Patriots, and then the other team. But when they played a real team like Brock Purdy and the Niners, they got wrecked up and they lost this game, and I was just stroking it, right? As I was viewing them, I was clutching to my phone, looking at their game as I'm in Costco, looking at some stuff, coming into it. I'm like, all right, because who they lose to, I gotta verify because my brain left me because
the Broncos, the Denver Broncos.
Okay, he barely threw 100 yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 10-9.
Yeah, it felt so good. And the problem is I don't like Sean Payton too because I actually think he's overrated.
True.
But I'll take it. Because I have friends who are Denver Bronco fans, so I support my boys. But yeah, fuck you, Aaron Rodgers.
All right, so
you should not have gotten that MVP.
Let's see, going down. Let's say Falcons beat the Saints.
I have a Saints friend who I always troll with Kirk O'Bangs over here with Kirk Cousins, so I love it.
Bengals beat the Panthers. So the Bears beat the Rams. Let's see, Vikings beat the Packers.
I don't believe the team is legitimate. I just think the team is competent, and that's actually more frightening than anything. But this is the same equation of 2 years ago when Kevin O'Connell's first year, when they went far and they lost the Giants in the first round.
Yeah. The Texans beat the Jaguars.
Battle of the suck, and the AFC is a wide open.
Yeah.
AFC South.
AFC sucks. Let's see. The Colts beat the Steelers.
Same logic.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, 38, 39.
Still getting
Anthony
it done.
Richardson. I watched that man play in Florida, and I was like, that's a bad draft pick. And it shows. And then he was hurt, and they brought him back in, and he was hurt again.
The Bucks beat the Eagles. Smacked the Eagles, actually. Sirianni should be fired.
He should be fired.
Yeah. Washington is good. Kyler Murray.
Are they competent? Like Dan Quinn.
But it still pushed your Kyler Murray narrative.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. 100%. I've been on that for 4 years. Everybody thought I was crazy. Stop. If I could just say this for 2 seconds. Yeah. Fandoms. Stop playing Madden and translating that to real life. That's one. More on that in a second about Miami Cubans. Just saying. Two. Stop implementing fantasy stats as realistic football and evaluations, please, for love of God.
Let's see. Niners beat the Patriots.
Yeah, it's like beating up a child.
Chiefs beat the Chargers.
Beating up a child.
Raiders beat the Browns.
Beating up a child.
Beating up a sex offender.
Beating a sex offending
child. Ravens beat the Bills.
All right, I got to comment on that.
Yeah.
I got to comment on that. I didn't want Derrick Henry to leave, but I got it. I understood it. But the problem is, watching that game, seeing how all those games come out, Derrick Henry is probably going to have a first-round exit, or at least get to pass to the divisional, because, like, the Bills, you know, this is what happens when you play a complete team. But, you know, at some point, someone's going to stuff you. But he pulled off that King Henry. I want him to get the Hall of Fame. I hate the fact that he did not get that MVP back in 2021.
Yeah.
Or 2020.
Lions beat the Seahawks.
Not beating up a child, but beating up a teenager. They're banged up on that team.
Yeah.
But the Lions are interesting.
Yeah, the Lions are interesting and they're fun and everybody likes them.
I think I said on the show, but not because sometimes
revival of Detroit sports apparently coming up right now because
I mean
Tigers are on a run, Lions are on a run.
The
Red Wings should be good coming up this season. They should get over the hump. They just missed the playoffs last season, and it can't get any worse for the Pistons, right? So,
I mean, that's a hard sell. The Pistons. But I said me and Derek and I in the office said Buffalo Lions as Super Bowl, so I have to kind of run that narrative now. I can't walk back. I can only be wrong, but you never walk back. Take being wrong, but never walk back.
Ninth inning, by the way.
Jared Goff had a perfect QB.
Ninth inning, Brewers are still winning 2-0. And finally, Charles, the game that we both went to.
I didn't even know you were going to be there.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, so it was a surprise. It's just day of.
You sent a photo of like me where I'm at. I'm like, right here.
Because I looked at the angle of the photo that you took, and I'm just like, oh, he's probably like up there, and I just kind of shot.
Well, so when we got the tickets,
but no, my seats were directly because you were in like my seats were basically directly aligned with yours, except I was in the club section. That's all.
Well, let me hear your story, and I'll give you my story.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play the clips in the background here. So yeah, we got to the game. It was probably like a little more than midway through the first quarter by the time we got sat down and settled down. But it was already like the tension, or at least the atmosphere of people around there. The Dolphins fans had much higher expectations as to what was going to happen in this game. They didn't think it would be this bad.
Sure. That's because the smart people are in the luxury suites.
Yeah.
The peasants are in section 351.
Yeah. Well, I was in the club section, and even then over there, they were still like going at it, thinking that there was something that could be salvaged from this game. I knew, you know me, I've known for years this team is not built to win. And
for many reasons.
For many reasons, I knew that the moves that they were making especially this offseason. Like, they didn't really
Very much
improve
so.
much of anything from last season to kind of address the issues that they already had, which for the most part is durability, and their defense and their offensive line, things that
And
they've
a
had
linebacker
issues.
who's a goal line guy.
Yeah, and they've things that they've had issues with this entire era of the I guess the McDaniels era, who at this point, like, is he really, like, he can't get much from anybody else. But listen, I get it. Tyler Huntley, it was hard to get anything out of it, but man, the Dolphins had no backup plan for Tua. You would think they'd get a much more competent backup given his injury history as well. I mean, hell, they could have gotten Andy Dalton. And I think this team would have actually won if he was behind the helm there. But
So, can I tell you who the equivalent of Mike McDaniel is to me right now?
Go
This
ahead.
is a callback. He's Mike Smith of the Atlanta Falcons, the one who is the
yeah,
original,
yeah.
the original Matt Ryan thing. Because, you know, at least Dan Quinn went to a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan did, or not Matt Ryan, but Mike Smith didn't. But they had good, productive teams that maximize potential. They had two stellar wide receivers.
Great offense.
With Roddy White, Julio Jones. They had a decent running back with Michael Turner. Not that I'm saying Devin Achane really stepped back, but that's because the offensive line's bad. And Raheem Mostert, the age is showing. He's always hurt. And then they had a above average quarterback. And Matt Ryan, well, to me, shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but he is the Hall of very good. He was an MVP. He's always been productive.
Yeah. If he had won that Super Bowl, he probably would have made it.
Yeah, it really feels like you need to win a Super Bowl, which is ironic because I do not think Eli Manning should ever be in the Hall of Fame, and he's probably going to get there for winning 2 Super Bowls. I'm sorry, it's objectively true. I don't even think that he's in the Hall of very good. He's just the Hall of, like, okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you lead the interception in the league one time as a quarterback, and you also never, like, won an MVP or win, like, the top 5 of MVP consideration, I think that says it all. But we get participant trophies for everybody because we're just very quarterback-centric. Just how Aaron Rodgers got a 4th MVP when he shouldn't have, when Derrick Henry should have. Please continue.
So the game is going on, and Titans get a field goal. They get another field goal, and I'm just like, oh, this is going to be one of these games.
Nick Folk is just so clutch. It was bad.
It was. I mean, the kickers needed to be the best players in this game.
We're just texting each other, so you guys just don't understand
like
the stuff that we're throwing.
I was laughing. I was like, I hope this is like 9-9 going overtime. Like, that's how bad it was. But the game was going on, and like the Titans were moving the ball. The Dolphins got their own field goal. It was 6-3, moving the ball down the field and everything like that. And then they were able to get a clutch first down to be able to get the field goal going into the half. So it was 9-3. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be a great football game. But people were already booing loudly the Miami Dolphins, and it was I was laughing so hard, Charles. I haven't seen the Miami Dolphins play a regular season game in 10 years. Yeah, it's been like 10 years.
Give or take for me, yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 10 years since I actually went to go see a Miami Dolphins game. That was a regular season game. I went to a preseason game, but like a regular season game, and, you know, seeing all the changes to the stadium, seeing everything that they've done around the team to try and make it seem like they've got a nice operation going here. And at the same time, I'm just looking at it like, this is the same Miami Dolphins. They're polishing up a turd. And I've seen through all the bullshit before. And I know this football team. I know what they've done to me and to other, like, all these other people. And they don't realize, these people don't realize that they're all victims of this football team. I've tried to get Doug to realize it. I've tried to get everybody else to realize it. I've been the summer of petty continued because of this. Like, we're in October already. I just, like, hockey season just hasn't started yet. I just need a bit more. There's only a few days left of this petty, Charles, that I could spread around. And I've spread it around all over the place, to Boston, to Toronto, and to Sun Life or Hard Rock Stadium as well. Because I need people
because you have to be happy boy now.
Yeah. I need people to know how the absolute shit that this this team is in. Like
7.
4, 5, 6. I'm at 7.
5,
Okay,
6.
I mean, I don't know. In any case, like I laughed so hard at this game as people were booing, as people were walking out of the seats, as the third quarter started ticking by. At some point, I was just telling my dad, "Let's just go get some food," because the tickets were already paid and the parking was already paid. I was like, I'll spend money on the food, and that's it. And we had some chicken sandwiches. They were all right. And then we made our way out to get back home. But you stayed, Charles. But that was my experience of the Miami Dolphins game. I was so happy.
He left in the first half.
I left at the third quarter. I left in the third quarter. By the end of the third quarter, I was out of the stadium. And man, I was just so happy to actually see it before my eyes. See all of the best laid plans that they have been making over the last 4 or 5 years of this Tua era right now blow up in their face. And the fact that yeah, when Tua finally does come back in, like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks.
I don't know. That's a big if, man.
I mean, I'm assuming he's been sitting there. I don't know. I'm assuming he'll be back probably next month. I'm gonna give it 3 more weeks. By the end of this month, early November, I think he'll be back. Especially if they're trying to salvage one of the wild card spots, if they can find a way to do that. But they're 1-3, and I know even then, if Tua is able to get them to like a 10-7 record or something like that out of some miracle, they'd still lose. Because this team is not built for the playoffs. It's not built to beat anybody of note. And yeah, I was so happy. That's why my supervisor today was my non-sponsor, because I could not have I would not have paid to watch the Miami Dolphins all these years. And I'm glad I still haven't. So, in fact, I haven't paid to see the Miami Dolphins ever, really. So somebody always has to take me to the game from like a seats being offered to me. So they're the one team that I refuse to pay tickets for. I've seen Inter Miami, who actually won the best record in soccer, MLS, over the weekend or whatever, which is so good on them. Like that's how badly this petty is going, Charles. I'm actually supporting the soccer team for once. So, and Wrexham, up the town, sure.
I feel disgusting. Yeah. So it's so weird.
Hey, it's Mac and Ryan Reynolds,
Right. So it's so weird because here I am, like, I'm a New York Yankee fan.
Now, you had your day planned around this game already.
Yeah, well, I had... So, I am the curse of the Miami Dolphins. I'm sorry. It's me, South Florida. It's me. Because the last time, 7 years ago, I went to see the Dolphins play against the Titans, I was snake bitten by the quarterback curse. I'm the one who causes them to be injured, because it was Ryan Tannehill. He got hurt. That was the Jay Cutler season. Jake Locker, I believe, got hurt, and then we were stuck with Matt Castle, and it happened again.
Early.
We got Tua came concussed, and then Will Levis hurt his shoulder diving for a
first
31.
down.
They call it a first down, which they call it 4-for-1, which clearly was not a fourth down. It was a conversion. It was a first down conversion, or third down conversion at first, but whatever. And he got hurt, and we got Mason Rudolph. So it's me. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me, Taylor Swift. Because y'all hate Taylor, I'm a supporter in this. Also been listening to a lot of Chapel Roan. She's good, man. I gotta tell you. So I don't like going to football games because Florida is hot. And I was wearing jeans because I thought it was gonna rain. I have a trip.
Oh, tomorrow. I wore shorts.
Well, you're in a club section, dude. I'm in like section 351 and all that stuff. So I don't want like rain hitting my exposed hot leg and getting me sick. I just got back from a science inspection like 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry. And
holy shit, Burger King has a fire menu? What's this?
I will fuck that up. What? Like 9, 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah.
But the point of where I'm going on. Oh, Mets got it 3-2. Holy crap!
Are you kidding me? I haven't looked at the
top
score.
of the ninth.
Oh my god, they did it again.
They hurt us.
There are two outs in the top of the ninth. My god.
Are we about to follow them up?
Oh shit.
Pete Alonso, who finally did something.
9.
Francisco Lindor is so special though. Like it's
he's great, man.
He's really so special.
Yeah.
I hate this. The Mets are making me like kind of like want that.
Yeah.
Right? If not us, then them. Right? New York represent. Even though I hate New York.
Yeah.
Ew. Side note. All right.
Queens.
So I have a couple. Queens. I'm from Rigo. Yeah. Like I should go see my grandparents, but that's a different story. So I'm gonna hit on a couple of things there. I'm the curse. We got there. I got a free energy drink, Alani, and I didn't need it because I was already doped up on all the energy because I worked out and stuff like that, and my heart was about to give out anyway. But I'm like, I'm not gonna say another free. It's like when I went to the Royal Rumble and I got a C4 out of it. I'm like, hell yeah, hook me up, please. So I get that, and I was starving, so I got like a chili dog for $11. But it's pretty long of a hot dog. But had I got into the actual food court area, there would have been like there was a kebabs there. I'm like, hell yeah, hit me with that gyro. I would have crapped myself, but it's okay. Like we deal with it all the same. And I get to section 351, but it was hot. My ass was already kind of swampy. 12, and I'm in the belly of the beast. Because here I lived in South Miami. I would work out and I lived in I live in Hialeah, thankfully. God, thank you. I lived in staff.
Spent 10 years there.
Week. But I lived in Sweetwater. But I would go around. I would have my Titans hat. I would have my Yankees hat. I would have my Heat hat. I always would have Heat hat at the gym because I don't want people talking to me. I'm trying not to be that guy, but like, all right, I don't need you to talk to me on some nonsense and get like me all like heated up. So I'm there, and there was a mixture of mi gente. So there was some Colombians that are behind us, some Cubans, some other white guys going from there, and I have this theory that no one really wants to go to football games, whereas it's different from baseball, hockey, and basketball. No one really wants to go to football games to watch football. I legitimately think you either want to go to football games to be with your kids. There wasn't as many kids. There was this kid. I don't like to take photos of other like random people, but this one little boy was watching all the stuff that I would watch as a kid, even as an adult. He was watching Sonic Prime, Super Mario Brothers movie, Pokemon. I was like, little kid, good for you, you're living that good life, because he was bored with the game. But there was like this different kind of energy that kind of came in. I'm like, all right, I had nothing to lose coming into it because either we would get blown out or we were going to win. There was not going to be a close win or anything like that. So I get there, and I'm already hearing people. I have this theory that people go to football games just to get hammered on a Sunday or Monday, because I saw a lot of people tailgating. I'm like, it is Monday, sir, at 6:30 p.m. or 7. What are you doing shotgunning beers? I was like offended. I felt like I was like concerned. I'm like, please don't drive home going from there. But I think they want to get hammered. And the liquor selection, I didn't really drink. I had one seltzer because I was sweating to death. I was kind of bored. So, alcohol makes things interesting. Sure, I wasn't driving. It was fine. So get there, sit down, section 351. The seats were good because had Tua not been injured and Mostert not been injured, I think it would have been a packed house. The nosebleeds were very empty, and the ticket resale prices were a little bit more enticing to jump down. But then already my Colombiano gentes are in the back like, fuck the Titans! And I'm like, okay. And I go, and so here's the thing. I want you guys to understand. I love conflict. I'm a certified hater, but I love conflict. I guess 13, even though somebody else is worse my cursors. So I look back and go, hi! I literally did that. Like, you remember at the end of Jimmy Neutron? Hi, I'm Paul.
Yeah.
That was me. Yeah. I did that. You know me. You've been around me. I don't care. Because, there ain't no tough guys in this world. But I don't go fight somebody over a rational team. I won't even fight over my own country, man. What makes you think, or my own political beliefs, what makes you think I'm going to fight over a team? Unless you're Alex Cora. Meet me outside in the back, please. So I go, hi, and then I can't help but laugh. And then it just becomes like Field Goal City. But what I love is this is how you can tell no one ever played a sport in their life. There was
4-2 New York.
4-2. Well, Godspeed, Spider-Man, right? What a choke job.
Exactly.
What a
My
job.
God.
There's no other way to call it that. You're 2-0 and you go down 4-2. Big boy, right? Big boy pants. You forgot to wear your big boy britches because you just shitted yourself or shat yourself. 14-15. So I'm going there. There was a point, and I think it was before you left, where it was like 4th down and like 8, and McDaniel goes to punt, and then like everybody is like, "Oh, you got no balls, Mike. How you doing? You can't go from. You gotta go from. Like you are in your 20.
Yeah.
This isn't Madden. Stop worrying about your fantasy stats. Like realistically, it is so hard to be a coach on any level of sports. But like, there's no way in hell when you're only down 3.
Yeah.
When you're only down 3
with the offense that they've got right there and then.
Yeah. To even contemplate going for it. So I, of course, was thoroughly satisfied with the game because it broke up. Tajay Spears did the Wildcat Anya. He stepped on business. They did the stuff that you guys were notorious for. He took that snap, he got the touchdown. You had already left, I believe. I don't think you saw the Tajay.
Yeah, no. I was listening to the game on the radio and was just,
and so
as I was leaving, which was also like I was hate listening.
So I'm also smart because even though I'm in the belly of the beast and my team was scoring touchdowns because Pollard got a touchdown too, I didn't go yeah because there was this one guy. Okay, I gotta say something. If you stand up and you go yeah, you can't see visually, but you know what I'm talking. Yeah. For a flag, because there was a lot of flags thrown, and for holding or defensive holding and all that stuff, and illegal shift. You're being too emotional for a flag. Half that is bullshit anyway. 14, 15, 16. Yeah, going from it. But I was smart. I didn't go yeah and looking at people because I'm kind of outnumbered. I can take on maybe 2 guys at one time, but I'm not like I'm not a certified porn star in fighting, right? I don't know if I could take half of like Miami Gardens and Hialeah. I could try. I'm not trying to. So what I did was even better. I just lightly clapped and went. I don't know if you heard that in the background. I just did a light little clap, like I'm in like a sports step, like yeah, because I just know it's good. And then I'm sharing a hate boner with you. Please reciprocate it. I got people who started leaving early.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they were in my row leaving. And I'm like, this is mine. And I'm just sitting there because now
sending
it's like
the photos to me.
Yeah. This is like 31-14. I'm like, this is my row. And soon this will be my section. And I met some cool Dolphins fans because I actually am knowledgeable about football. And so I'm going to say something, and it's controversial, but I'm going to say it. You lived in Miami. You're a fandom. There's a lot of people there who are fake fans, who don't really know the sport. They just like it because they get caught up in fantasy football, but they can't talk shop kind of thing. And you live your life. I'm not going to hate you on it, but I'm going to kind of like throw some shade at you. But the people I was sitting next to, really cool people, because they saw a Tennessee hat. They're like, are you from Tennessee? I'm like, nah, man, I'm like fucking Queens. But like, don't worry about it. Let me explain to you. But the problem with the game is that McDaniels has no balls. Because was Tim Boyle that bad that you're like Tyler Huntley, right? Go from there. But Tyler Huntley just got promoted from the practice squad. And he was just doing a lot of like keepers, and that's where it wasn't working because respect to Vondre Sweat, number 93, that's a big beefy boy. And you had no Jeffrey Simmons because he was out with an injury, who I love. But, Tavondre, who was a second-round pick this year in the draft, was put in that work. So was J.C. Latham on our offensive line, our first-round pick. So 1s and 2s on either lines were putting y'all down. And it was great because Devin Achane couldn't do anything. But there was, like, this whole thing, like, McDaniel's play callings is just, like, he's not adaptable. You're doing halfback draws out of the shotgun. That got figured out 5 years ago, my brother in Christ. That got figured out real fast. It's cool to do it every now and then, but it was like every other game. And Moser was out, sure, but still. And then, like, Huntley did a lot of keepers. And the idea is that you have Tyreek Hill, you have Jalen Waddle. I do believe that they actually tried to throw more. You actually would have gotten something, and you kind of scheme a plan. And you can say what you want about, like, oh, if Tua wasn't there, or if Tua wasn't there. But, like, Tyler Huntley, Snoop Huntley, whatever the hell he calls himself now. I only affiliate with one Snoop Dogg. Love you, buddy. Follow us on Twitter, please. But you're not throwing it. But I love it because at some point I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is my row. And then it became my section. And then I saw some few other tight ends. I count 10 people. It was very interesting. And I'll tell you now, I felt like the only Hispanic who was a Titans fan. And if y'all know me, see me, I don't show like I'm Hispanic, right? But it was a great feeling. Great sensation. I saw a lot of cool jerseys. Some Chris Johnson jerseys. I saw Eddie George, of course. I saw some McNairs. I saw Jeffrey Simmons that made me happy. I saw a couple of Tannehills, understandable. I saw a Vince Young, which made me very happy because McNair brought me in. Young kept me, even though like his career was very short. The man was dynamic. Problem is he couldn't read the defensive play if his life depended on it, but he was enthralling. But I saw a Will Levis jersey with one man. I'm like, sir, you're very ballsy for a guy who might not be starting this for the remainder of the season. I don't know. So this is my thoughts on the quarterback situation. Yeah, you can run with Mason Rudolph. I don't know how far you go with him because he was just doing a lot of digging and duckings. Yeah, you can go with Will and Will threw an interception on like the second play of the game. Whatever you could do, just like decide how you want to build and craft it. There's some rumors that DeAndre Hopkins has been going. At least I got to see him play on my team. Fantastic. But if he can go to a better team like Kansas City, I want him to succeed. You know, that it's the same way how I feel about Derrick Henry. Like, I know we're not going to trade away core foundational guys. We're not going to trade away Jeffrey Simmons. We're not going to trade away Calvin Ridley, even though Ridley didn't do much. I don't know this offense. Callahan's still trying to figure it out. But if this might be the only win of the season for us, I'm glad I got to see the only win because we got people to leave early. Yeah. There's nothing. I'm in your house. I took your meal. I shitted in your fucking like 20 in your own toilet. I use it my way, how I wanted to. You guys don't understand because them Dolphins fans are coming a little hot because remember last year, the Monday Night Football game.
Yep.
You know, we came back from 14 on 3 minutes. So there is a little bit of hatred because that kind of affected the seeding for y'all. So, like, if y'all want to make this a little mini rivalry, that's fine. You can't call it a mini rivalry if there's only one side winning. Because let me tell you something, brother. I'm serving some beef. Bring a plate. Bring a plate. And I was prepared for some very inappropriate comments. Someone tried me because I'm sharp. You know I'm very sharp on the insults. I'm surprised I haven't been stabbed yet. And I am not above petty to where if you threw some bad stuff at me, that I was going to mention maybe someone's brain injuries and possibly a legend who had just passed. I have no mercy. You know, the softest stuff I was going to bring in was like, I've still been chasing Dan Marino since 1999, brother. But, you know, like, I try not to because I don't try to believe in trash talking. I think it's actually kind of silly. Because you want to know why I don't believe in trash talking? Unless it's baseball in the first row, no one else can hear you for the most part. Unless you're Russell Westbrook. Whatever team he is right now on Dev right because he'll always find a trash talker talking trash talk, as you should. We love Westbrook in this household, but it was a good experience because my team won with us. But it's once again a game where like both quarterbacks were hurt. I didn't see a real game. It was field goal city. I got to see some future Hall of Famers if they don't dock Hopkins for being, you know, a PED violation from the year prior, or 2 years ago, which they shouldn't because the man had to catch passes from Brandon Whedon and got 1,000 yards. Love him. So it was a very tale of two cities, but it was like a same sharing of like Miami Dolphin hate that was there. And like, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad because you mentioned it, and I'm going to bring it all back before we move on. They did nothing this offseason to actually benefit the team.
Right.
Because, of course, Skylar Thompson was hurt, so you can't prepare for it. But, like, from the game planning, from the player personnel, your whole thing was like, we got Vic Fangio and Jalen Ramsey. I'm like, Jalen Ramsey been around the block a little bit. Having one corner don't mean nothing because he can't cover all the other guys. Getting older. And then remember, not signing Christian Wilkins.
That was a big loss.
In Las Vegas. But Pollard and Tajay Spears, I think if he was there, you know, they'd be able to come. And, you know, he wasn't a guy who was always going to be a stat stuffer, but you felt his presence. I've seen him play. You know, you've seen him play. You know what he's going on. And Bradley Chubb, I don't think is healthy yet. Jalen Phillips, you lost him. And I like Jalen because he was part of the U. So I'm not going to be, like, petty on his ass. 21. I'm cursing all today. I'm sorry. Because you mentioned Aaron Rodgers. I got all heated. You know how it goes. But it was a good experience. I never want to go to another football game, which is weird because the past 2 years, I've gone to 2 Monday Night Football games. But last year, I was on Ultra Instinct Goku level of, like, alcohol consumption because I'm about to see the Saints with Derek Carr in year 1 and Bryce Young in year 1. And I was like, I'm not winning either way, so I'm just going to hit up these margaritas at the Irish bar. And it was a fantastic time. I remember literally only, like, maybe 10 minutes in total. So this was a good re-welcoming of it. But I had a very positive experience. My only complaint, my truest complaint, I bought the Hard Rock Cup, the 32-ounce fountain soda. Okay. Not because I wanted the specialty cup, because I just thought, you know, for $2 more, you get a specialty cup, but you get 32 ounces. That Pepsi was flat, bro. How you gonna give me 32 fluid ounces? One, no straw. So I went to the liquor bar and took a straw because that's nasty. You know who's touching that. You know who's touching that. Ew, right? Ew. But then just drinking that, I was like, oh, it's flat. I'm like, I don't even want this.
Mets won.
I'm just neutrals. Man, what a... Y'all got to understand how bad it is. You're up 2. You're in the 7th. We literally go on the show, and say like, yeah, you can't mess with this now. It's gonna be good, and then you can't close that deal. Brewers, I don't feel bad for you. You are what you are. It's every year. Every time I'm kind of like, oh, maybe, right? No. They're like, we're good at being central reps. Can't do past that. Choke job.
Yeah. Watch the Cubs win the division and then actually move on next year with Craig Counsell. That's going to be really bad for them next year. Because the Cubs weren't that awful this past season. Anyways, all right. So that was our experience at the Dolphins and Titans game.
I think the bigger question is wait till later in the season when Charles and Francisco link up for Pantherville. Because we're happening that. That's guaranteed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna go at least to 2 games or 3 games this year. Like I'm not gonna pull I'm not gonna be the casual, but they're the closest team, and I've gone to several of their stuff.
Miami Heat. Will we try one of those? I mean, we didn't really try it when I was in Miami, but
so here's the thing: the East is too much of a powerhouse on these players, where the prices are gonna be too high. So when I went to go see them against Portland in the revenge game for Charles, I got my tickets kind of cheap, like at 100. But like if you try to go Philly, it's gonna be expensive. If you try to go the Knicks, it's gonna be expensive. If you try to go Boston, it's gonna be expensive. And like the West Coast games are so weird. So it's like gonna be one of those games where we have to go there for like Detroit or Washington, or we have to go there for like a mid-tier West team, which always changes. You know, they're like the trash team, or we have to see like the Hornets. And here's the problem. When I look at like other opposing teams, I at least want to see some stars. There was nobody there for Portland, but I had a hate boner going on, so I had to see Portland. The year prior, I saw the Rockets, who had some productivity. But like if we're doing it, I can't see the Hornets. There's no one on there that can, because I don't think LaMelo's good. I really don't. You're not good if you have potential, because that's the biggest takeaway. Like, oh, he has potential. That means you're actually bad and you haven't achieved your level coming into it because your ankles are bad. Like seeing the Wizards, I mean. I don't know, man. Or the Bulls. I'm like, yeah, I can say I saw the Bulls. So it's a possibility. It's one of those things where we get like high-end seats. So I'm not against it. Not against it. In 2025, you will see me when the Yankees come to Marlins this year. I might do it back-to-back. I got to see my boy. I got to see him. I got a cold job ready for him. I'm building my biceps up. Yeah. My triceps are getting higher. My forearms are getting tight. I got to do this because he's the only one I haven't seen.
Okay. All right, Charles. It's time for the cage.
Oh, man, I talk so much, and you think I'm going to talk more.
I mean, I got nothing more. I mean, the only thing I was... oh, yeah, for Halloween, we got a theme in the office now.
Okay, what's the theme? I want to hear this.
Inside Out.
Okay,
Inside Out. So I saw
Inside Out 2, not that good.
I got anxiety, so...
This is literally perfect.
So that'll be fun.
We could both be there.
And then aside from that was and then I had like for some weird reason I feel like you could actually pass as Paul Maurice for Halloween.
Me?
Coach. Yeah, I think you guys had the same sort of vibe. Yeah, you and Paul Maurice.
Just random motivational speeches. Paul Maurice has okay hair. I mean, like, if I was 57, I think that's my hair in there. It's because he talks with weird analogies. Because I was reading something. It's better to breathe through your mouth instead of your butthole. Is that what he said? If it's documentary?
Maybe.
I'm not going to lie. That's a Charlesism.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, if you listen, like, I should send you a video of Paul Maurice talking.
I've seen bits of it, but I was just reading that.
And then you saw him drunk at the parade, so.
Oh yeah, he seems like a very. I love you, Paul Maurice. I'm just gonna. He's the Canadian Peppers.
Yeah.
If I'm the Colombian Peppers. He's the Canadian. Oh, I'm sorry. That made me laugh because I remember reading it and I let out this throaty chuckle at work. To which the other trainer is like, "What's so funny to you?" Like, I can't say it about that. All right, 2 seconds. Let me brief about Halloween. I'm not gonna tell like the big disguise in case I was like one of those rude coworkers who know about the show because I want admin office to not know I'm doing. But you guys know I work for a nonprofit shelter, so shelter's doing trunk and treat. So it's gonna be like a 2-hour gig. So I'm thinking about doing a Halloween switcheroo. So for the first hour when I'm there for the kids, I'm gonna be Spider-Man and I'll have like a little web slinger shooter going from there. And then the second half, I'm gonna be back to Woody again because some kids are like my nieces too. She don't know who the hell Spider-Man is. She knows who Woody is. So I'm gonna have like a trio combo color. So I feel like the Dean from Community, which is hitting hard more, not being Dean, but the show itself for reasons. But you know how he always had like a dress up coming in, how he would switch his look. So that should be fun. All right, let's do this.
Yeah. Wait, I wanted to say one thing. What was? Oh, okay, shit. Oh no, we had a choice between it was Inside Out or Disney villains. I wanted to do the villains because I was gonna be like, I wanted to be Hades actually. I thought that would be like a nice simple costume to do, especially even in a suit you could pull it off. But
I mean, if you're talking about James Wood Hades from Hercules, you know, you gotta go blue and everything.
Yeah, but still, can figure it out.
This is interesting. This is very interesting because your personality is like. Don't be offended when I say this. But if I had to give you a Disney villain, I think the Disney villain that you would be was the bad guy from Monsters Inc. Not Randall. I'm Randall. You're not Randall. I'm talking about the big boss.
Yeah, the big boss. Yeah.
Because your personality, people don't know. Francisco sometimes seems like the straight and narrow, but when he actually loses it, you know, it comes out. That's why I was thinking about the big boss. Because this entire time, you're coming in, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, then it comes out like I did it. I'm like, oh my god, you're scaring children. We already know who I am. At least I like to think I know who I am. I like to think I'm Ursula out of Disney villains, and I will not accept anything else besides that. You know, I could see Poor Unfortunate Souls. I go from there. I will also take Hades too because it's a little spicy, or Randall. Radigan. You guys need to watch The Great Mouse Detective. It's such a good film. But yeah, I can see as Hades too. Go for that because remember, we're top tier villains. We don't lower ourselves. Okay, we don't just say we're Flotsam and Jetsam, or we don't say that we're like. Actually, I would be Iago as well, but he's not a villain anymore. But yeah, Iago would straight up be in that range going from there. But right now, it's gonna be Spider-Man and Woody for Shelter. So,
all right.
Welcome everybody to your weekly Truplex The Cage with Charles. Full disclaimer: wrestling's not fake. It's scripted. It's a stage fight. It's a song and dance, it's poetry in motion, it's a ballet, it's men and women being the holy hell at each other, combat sports, establishing their legacies, chasing championships, and just being out for blood. This will be a WWE segment. It will not be that long because I know we're kind of really draining on time, but this has been a very fun episode as I had tears in my eyes thinking about Paul Maurice and farts. I really wonder if he likes wrestling. I should just try to like
a lot of Canadians do.
A lot of Canadians do. You know, Kevin Owens, you know, likes hockey and he's a wrestler. So
a lot of Canadian wrestlers.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them. I think I'll have to do that. Yeah, we love Sammy. He's so good.
Or Johnny Gaudreau jersey in Calgary. Yeah.
Oh yeah, respect to him, man. That stuff still kind of tears me up a little bit, right? Don't drink and drive, guys. Just get Ubers. 2024. And if you're broke, ask a friend to pay one for you. I think you'll be good onto it. So. Bad Blood this Saturday at 6 p.m. Your boy is going to be there. 7 tomorrow when I get up and shower. I'll pack my clothes after the show and eat something. I'm going to be going for the drive. I didn't want to fly. I'm broke. And the thing is, ticket prices, ticket prices are fine, but then you have to
road trip is fun.
It's like 9 hours. I'm gonna finish Shahnameh, which is like Persian Kings kind of thing. And then I have the Silmarillion. Because I was doing Lord of the Rings, and I never not sponsor them, but I felt like I shouldn't have to. But you gotta know if you like Lord of the Rings or not. Play it simple. And I always liked the movies. I read The Hobbit. I tried to read The Fellowship and all the other ones when I was in high school. I just couldn't do it because I thought Tolkien just sang too much and he was too descriptive. Audiobooks are actually fantastic. So I finished the original, I guess the Fellowship, the entirety of the Lord of the Rings, and now I'll do the Silmarillion, which is kind of dated backwards in history. So that's about a 19-hour drive. We got the Andy Serkis. Or 19-hour drive, but 19-hour Audible. We have the Andy Serkis narration. That'll take me there. I've never been to Atlanta. I've driven through it.
Really?
Georgia itself. Yeah. Really? Because I've done the Carolinas more time, but I don't have friends who are in Georgia.
Really? And okay, you'll have a good time in Atlanta first time. They got a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah. I have, like, the clothes fit out. It's just going to be all wrestling stuff. I'm not going to wear my Yankees hat because I know the Braves just lost, so they're going to be super bitter. I don't need to get stabbed. Not that I'm saying that the people in Atlanta have ill repute, but there's some bad blood. Haha, see what I did there?
State Farm or the Hawks
State Farm Arena, yes, okay. The Hawks Arena. So they have some bad blood towards Yankee fans because of the
95 or 96, 99?
96, 99. And, like, some people don't let stuff go. And
you guys just proved who the true dynasty was, so...
Oh, well, you can't even be a true dynasty if only you won one, right? Yeah. That's the way I view it. And the problem is that I will throw some shade out there. If I was wearing a Yankees hat, someone said something about any of the I'm like, how's Chipper Jones doing with nothing? Yeah, that's it. Overrated. All you gotta do is call Chipper Jones overrated, and every Braves fan's about to hit you with the tomahawk. Straight up. But Chipper Jones kind of was overrated.
If he wasn't a switch hitter.
Yeah. I'm just saying. And you know what? What's even the purpose of switch hitter anyway when you have better management with roster? Whatever. We're not here for that right now. So I'm excited. This originally started because Tony and I had talked about doing WrestleMania in Vegas, and I'm like, I don't know if I can financially afford it because WrestleMania is a 2-night event, and so you have to do a combo package of tickets. Which, if I dropped good money for the Royal Rumble, which was a great experience, I don't regret it. It was in Tampa. I was able to come home at like 5 in the morning and pass the hell out, and then like be like, all right, work Monday. I'm gonna take time off. I'm not doing
I love how Bad Blood. I'm looking at the promo image here. Is sponsored by
Yeah.
Wendy's.
Well, you know, the perfect storm, right? This was meant to be. I was supposed to be here, you know. And Bad Blood is originally a pay-per-view that was done during my time in the Attitude Era, and they got rid of it when they became more PvP, but they would just redub it. It's like Hell in a Cell. So I didn't want to do Vegas. He's like, it's in Georgia. It's like, my buddy lives in South Carolina. It's like, it's a 3-hour, 4-hour drive for me. It's a couple hours for you. Like 8 hours. Let's do it. I'm like, fine, I guess. Like, I'll put the tickets on my card. You handle the hotel room. I hope they got me a separate room because, you know, to be there with like a couple is like weird. I don't need to hear animal noises. You know what I mean? But like, say la vie, just tell me to leave for like an hour, please. And I never been there, and I didn't really travel last year at all, except going to Carolinas. But I've been there enough, so it's like Carolina's not that special. If you've been there 3 times, you don't really need to go anymore. And I've been there like 4. So I was like, yeah, sure. I haven't been to Atlanta, you know, and it is a pinnacle of some sports, so you're always kind of invested to a degree. I don't know if I'll run into James Harden at like, you know, Houston's or Magic City going on, right? I don't frequent the strip clubs, y'all, but we'll see what happens. But I think the build for this pay-per-view has been very good in that sense, even though I haven't been caught up on Raw and SmackDown as much. So we're going to go down the match chart, we're going to do predictions, and we're going to talk about Charles's what he wants to happen. Should only be like 10 minutes. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. That's been going on for a bit. Dominic Mysterio is going to be in a cage, like shark cage above them. I haven't really been investing this much. I think Hunter has kind of bungled the Judgment Day feuds because this was going on since August, a little bit prior to that. Dom had flipped on Rhea at SummerSlam, which I loved it because, you know, heel he gets super heel. I would actually have him keep loyal to Rhea to make him super babyface because everybody's going to love someone who stands by their woman, right? But you go for the story, go for the story. But I would hope this is the end of it for a bit. I'd rather have Liv win than Rhea because the problem is Rhea, the way she was, you know, I hate the Judgment Day, or I didn't like it because they were booked as too strong, or Rhea was built as too strong, and she never actually lost her title. She had to vacate it because of injury, and Liv ended up being Becky Lynch. She had a Saudi pay-per-view a couple months back, but you need to allow the women's division to kind of grow because, like with everything else, sometimes you just have to take a chance that the rest of you have. So let Liv run a reign that is free of like Liv more on Rhea Ripley in the background. That being said, Rhea's probably going to win, but I think Liv Morgan should win it. Damian Priest and Finn Balor, part of the Judgment Day, right? Remember, Finn and Damian were boys, they're tag team members, all this stuff. Damian cashed in his Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania, and then he was betrayed by Finn at SummerSlam against Gunther, and Gunther ended up winning the title. We were off the show at that point, but that happened probably for the better. And, you know, Damian had a good run for holding like a 4-month title because that was my complaint about Hunter in year 1 and 2 of holding the show with Vince in the background. There was a lot of title reigns, long, lengthy title reigns. Like, I don't like that. Like, 12 months in a year, sometimes you have to break that up a little bit. Now we're seeing a lot of title changes happen. Like Jey Uso beat Braun Breaker for the IC belt. Yay. So you get some stuff that's in there. But I feel like Finn needs to win it, and we can't say move on just yet because there's no stipulation to this match. And for this is about brotherhood and betrayal and all this other fun jazz. It's a one-on-one match. So that usually tells me there's more matches to come down the line. And Survivor Series and the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view is just next month as well. So it's more than likely. So whereas Liv and Rhea are about to end, it doesn't seem like Damian and Finn is going to. Can they produce? Yes, because how do I know that they produce? Because they had an NXT takeover match several years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, when Finn had gone back to NXT. That was actually a banger. So I know the ring work is going to be fine. My prediction, Finn wins. Women's title match, Nia Jax versus Bayley. Remember, Tiffany Stratton, who's part of Nia's crew, is Money in the Bank holder, so she can cash in anytime. Is this when you do it? I don't know. We know Nia's winning. I think the match will be good, but do you do a cash in? Do you have her hold on to it? Is there enough juice in that fruit to squeeze just a couple more drops out before we crown Tiffany or not crown Tiffany? I've enjoyed Nia. I've enjoyed what she's done. She's came back. I like Bayley. I'm intrigued. I'm entertained. Let's see what happens. I think the story is basic, but it's really the rematch from SummerSlam where Nia had beaten Bailey to win that title. But you know what, man? Sometimes wrestling needs to make sense, but I'm very curious about if we do a cash in going from there. Um, we'll talk about the main event that I don't agree with being the main event, but then well, you know, screw it. We'll go with the Hell in a Cell match. Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, the third match of the rivalry coming into it. Remember, Punk got hurt by Drew at Royal Rumble because he actually tore his triceps in real life. They were able to build a story out of it. Punk had his return match on live pay-per-view at SummerSlam against Drew, to which he lost, where Seth Rollins was the special guest referee. Then they had at the past pay-per-view, not Payback, I think it was Payback. My brain has left me. Bash in Berlin, where they had the strap match, which was actually very good, and Punk won that. Now it's a Hell in a Cell match. As it sounds, it's a full cage, all weapons go. We're gonna get a little color. We're gonna get a little color. In wrestling terminology, that means we'll get some blood. I'm hoping at least. You know, get them both bloody. Punk is more than likely gonna win, so he can, you know, diffuse them a bit, and then you have like Drew pretend like he's injured. If Drew won, that's kind of a problem because what do you have him doing? Because if you beat Punk, you should automatically get a title shot for the World Heavyweight title. But Gunther's a heel, Drew's a heel. What's going on? I do think, and I'll just put it on the record now, Drew's going to be the guy who beats Cody sometime next year because he's one of the only guys who's beaten Cody since Cody came back from the injury before he won the title, all that fun jazz. But, like, I don't know. Like, Hunter has this weird logic coming into it. But I'm excited for the match. I think it's going to be good. I've sent you guys memes on it. I've sent you guys Twitter feeds on it. This is finally going to be the culmination. Have they dragged it on a little bit longer? Yeah. But am I invested? Yeah. So my prediction, Punk wins, and then he'll go challenge Gunther out of the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view or Survivor Series. I'm fine with either way. Is Gunther on the pay-per-view, Charles? No, because Hunter just hates my ass for whatever reason. 21. I've cursed a lot today. Gunther and Sami Zayn are going to happen at Raw next week, and I'm so sad because Gunther was in the Royal Rumble last year, so I didn't get to see him actually have.
I love you some Gunther.
I love some Gunther. I can never buy any of his shirts because I always see him like imperialism, and I can't do that with the Third Reich, and definitely
not in this part of Florida. Not in your part of Florida.
Not my part of Florida. No. Just as a character basis, ladies and gentlemen. No, but he's just good. A lot of the matches I've had WWE match of the years into it with him mentioned, and him and Sam just so good at WrestleMania, and I like what they're doing with it. I don't know who dethrones Gunther in the end game. I have some theories, but we're not there yet. Gunther's going to have a lengthier reign. I don't think he loses Mania. Actually, I would have him drop the belt at Rumble, but that's just me because I don't need title reigns to be like 9 months, right? But there's that. So let's talk about, and I don't want to catch up. I kind of have to catch up, but I don't want to put too much effort into it. The main event that was announced. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns teaming up, right? The guys who had pretty damn good matches. Yeah. The guys who had the match of the year for you, Charles, at WrestleMania. Match of the year for WWE. Remember, I separate AEW, WWE. There's some ones I put like overall favorites, but I feel like life's easier when you separate like that. Yeah, those guys. And who are they going against? Jacob Fatu, Samoan Werewolf, who I'm a big fan of. And then Solo Sikoa, who's just fine. They're going to be in a tag match. The reason why I think they're main eventing is 2 reasons. One, Cody's a Georgia boy. Roman played at Georgia Tech when he was doing football. The Bloodline storyline has been like main focus for 4 years between Bloodline 2.0. It's a lead to Survivor Series, to do War Games. And most importantly, I think I'm getting Dwayne Johnson at this pay-per-view, bro.
Oh.
And I don't know how to feel about this because he was final boss. He was very integral. Remember, Roman speared him in their match and when they were the tag team champions. Oh, not tag team champions, sorry. WrestleMania Night 1 tag team, Cody and Seth Rollins. And I think, his whole thing is that he's going to pick Solo and the other Bloodline versus that. I don't know how I would feel about it because I've loved like The Rock's final boss run. And I really feel like my Donald Trump I'm going to come gif is appropriate here because, I mean, I didn't get to see Taker. I never got to see Austin. I remember being with Derek at Rumble. I'm like, man, what if we heard Austin or Taker or something like that for those matches that were going and just somebody returning. Like we saw Rock. We didn't know what was going to happen. And that's the whole excitement. So this pay-per-view that's in Georgia, Atlanta, where the Georgia boys are main eventing and The Rock has beef with Cody anyway because his final exchange with Cody on Raw was like, I want to hold your title for a bit. And then, Roman might be viewed as being weak because he lost to Cody, even though The Rock kind of helped out. And it still wasn't enough. What if I get Dwayne? I'm going to squeal, and I'm going to send all those photos to Derek. I'm going to squeal. And he's like, because I know Jimmy Uso is probably coming back, and that's fantastic. I don't know if Hikuleo, who's another part of the the Haku family, because Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, who are part of Bloodline 2.0, are related to Haku, who was Ming in WCW, Haku in WWF, and the Hikuleo is their brother as well. They're not like they're Tongans, they're not Samoans, they're not the same ilk coming into it because there's a little bit of difference. It's kind of like how I always try to explain to people that there's other kind of Hispanics besides Cubans and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. There's like Argentinians and Colombians. I will take that loosely as an analogy. I know it's not the fullest appropriate, but that's like the best way I can explain it. There's very limited time frame where there's just different diversities, right? Of any kind of Samoan, Tongan, whatever race you guys want to go there, go talk to people. I'm just using it as an example. But if I get Dwayne, I'm a pop, dude. I'm a pop. I'm gonna like pop out. I popped out when CM Punk came out, and when other people came out when I was at the Royal Rumble. I might break my foot popping. And who's gonna win that match? I actually don't know. This is one of those fews. I think the safekeeping is to have Cody and Roman win, so we get Cody Roman Part 3 at the Saudi pay-per-view, and that's where you actually get the interference. But you should still get Rock to come out and stare down. For Charles, please. If I hear, if you smell, I'm like, I smell what you're cooking, Dwayne. I smell it. Your movies are shite, but your wrestling's been on point. It really is. Black Adam was terrible. And thankfully, Black Adam bombed, so we were able to get Rock coming back. Shirts I'm going to wear. So Bad Blood Excited is probably going to be a solid pay-per-view. I bought a new shirt. AJ Styles, who's also a Georgia boy, who I'm sad he's not going to be there, right? But Hunter likes his 5, 5-match cards. It's leader of the pack, which is a running joke I have in my organization because I oversee my program as being the leader of the pack kind of thing. So I saw I need it. I'm gonna wear that. I'm probably gonna wear that the night of. I have a Cody Rhodes shirt that I had to buy on a bet. So like I'll probably wear that Friday as I'm driving, or I'm gonna wear like my Roman Reigns all levels above or main event thing. So there's gonna be people like, what the hell is this guy doing as I'm in the trucker station going by. Super excited, and the tickets were cheaper. Obviously, it'll be a nice adventure. It's a nice little getaway from life that's going on right now. And what's going to happen? This is all perfect timing because what is PlayStation Plus October free games? One of them, WWE 24, or 2K24. So I would not be surprised, my man, if I went download that Sunday night when I come back. I'm like, all right, we're just going to create it because I never finished out 2022, which was a fun game, but like. I could lose hours into it because you could just kind of like create your own like thing with all 3 brands. So out with the old and with the new, and I'm just excited. This is gonna be good, and that's all I got for you this week on the cage.
Okay. All right then. So I think that's it for us. I got nothing more. Bye, everybody.
Take care.